Good morning, fourth grade. Miss Wangler gave me a chance to read a book to you today. This is Better Than You, um, realistic fiction book. And I tell you, just as I've scanned through the book, it's looks like it's pretty interesting and it's a really good read. So I will begin reading the book to you and just kind of ask you some questions to kind of be thinking about, and we will get started with Better Than You. My neighbor Jake can be a real jerk, always letting me know that whatever I do, he can do better. Don't get me wrong, Jake is great at practically everything he does, especially sports. Me, not so much. I mean, I know I'm good at writing stories and playing the guitar, but when it comes to basketball, I have to practice a lot just to be a decent player. Okay? So the question right here says, do you know someone who always brags about themselves and about being better than you? You know, I'm pretty sure that we all know someone who they like to talk about themselves. They like to kind of let people know how well they can do something, but this is how our character in the story is feeling right now. You can see his neighbor in the background kind of spinning the ball, showing off a little bit. The jerky side of Jake first started to bug me when I was trying to learn how to do a layup. For weeks, I had been working on leaping, aiming, and shooting like an NBA star. I even got my older brother, Iggy's help. I was so excited when I could finally do it that I went over to Jake's house to show him. "Hey Tyler, what's up?" said Jake. "Check this out. I can do a layup." He's excited about learning how to shoot a layup. After I showed him the move, he grabbed the basketball from me and said, "Yeah, well, I bet you can't do this." Then Jake did a perfect hook shot. He couldn't just say, "Cool, Tyler," or "Great job. You nailed it." Nope, he had to outdo me. Who am I kidding? I thought. I'll never be great at basketball. Why even bother trying? So we see right here how Tyler, he's feeling good about himself because he learned how to shoot a layup, and then all of a sudden he wants to go show his neighbor Jake, and Jake kind of discourages him by shooting a hook shot and kind of showing him that he can do a better move than Tyler can. So we see by now that Tyler, he is the narrator. Kind of think about his voice. Kind of think about where he is in this story, how he feels, and how he maybe compares himself to his neighbor Jake. Last Tuesday morning, I was in the middle of showing Sharice my new music player when Jake came over. "What's that?" he asked. "It's a sound launch," replied Sharice. "Tyler just bought it." "You're kidding. A sound launch? You should have gotten a Tonnage 300, said Jake. Then he went on and on about all the great things his music player could do that mine couldn't. I just stood there, thinking of all the places I'd rather be than right there with Jake. Okay, so here it is again. We see Jake has a hard time celebrating Tyler. He has a hard time really helping Tyler feel good, making Tyler feel good about himself. Today we had a math test. I hate math. It's my hardest subject. My hands get all sweaty and my brain turns to mush whenever I try to solve the problems. Do you want to know what was worse than taking that test? Having the teacher tell you that the kid to your right would be great in it. And since I sat next to Jake, he got to check my answers. "Geez, Tyler, I can't believe you got some of those problems wrong," he said. "This test was so easy. I must be like 5 times smarter than you in math." There should be a law that kids don't get to grade each other's tests. Stupid test. Stupid me. So think about how Jake is making Tyler feel. Think about look at Tyler's kind of his mood right here in this picture, and just Jake is really good at making Tyler not feel good about himself. When I came home from school, I threw down my backpack, headed to my bedroom, and slammed the door. "Hey, Tyler," called Iggy from downstairs. "Uncle Kevin's here." When I didn't go say hi to Uncle Kevin, he came upstairs. "Why are you holed up in your room?" he asked. I didn't say anything. I just kept tossing my basketball up in the air. "You know, Tyler, one of my favorite ways to get rid of the blues is to play them," he told me. Okay, so at this point, we're thinking about we're looking at Tyler here in this story, thinking about the problem that he has with Jake. How do you think he's going to deal with his problem with Jake? The blues. Okay, we hear that Uncle Kevin is talking about one of his favorite ways to get rid of the blues is to play them. Okay, kind of think about what that's saying, what that may mean to you. What does it mean to have the blues? And then what does it mean to play the blues? Really interesting story so far. Okay. We went out to the front porch and started strumming away. Uncle Kevin was right. Playing the guitar did help me feel better, but it still didn't solve my problem with Jake. Okay. After a while, Uncle Kevin asked, "Did you have a tough day at school?" "More like a tough month," I grumbled. "My friend Jake's been getting on my nerves a lot lately. I know he's better than me at a bunch of stuff, but he doesn't have to rub it in my face all the time. I feel like such a loser when I'm around him." Uncle Kevin nodded as he strummed some more chords. Is Jake like this around you? Is Jake like this around your other friends too?" I thought about it for a minute. I remember hearing Carlos tell Oscar at baseball practice that he was sick of Jake's bragging. "He thinks he's better than us," said Carlos. "Yeah, what a show-off," agreed Oscar. So it wasn't only me that Jake treated this way. The other guys were getting fed up with him too. Maybe it wasn't my fault after all. Maybe it had more to do with him than with me. So this is our stopping point right here in the story, and we're kind of thinking about Tyler in the story right here, and how he's beginning to realize that not only is Jake does Jake mistreat him, but there are other students. He has other friends that Jake mistreats. So kind of an interesting part in the story, and we're just kind of waiting to see what happens as the story goes along right here. But I do think Uncle Kevin's going to play a real important part in kind of helping Tyler work through some of his issues with Jake. And Uncle Kevin strikes me, he comes across to me as being someone who's full of, maybe good advice, and, just being a problem solver. So, like I said, we've reached a stopping point. Thank you, Miss Wangler, for letting me come and share a part of Better Than You, and look forward to seeing how the story unfolds.